Alright, what's good? In this video, I'm going to read a chapter from the book of Mastery by Robert Greene. And this is a chapter about Mozart, famous composer who died a couple hundred years back. And this story is going over on how he became to who we know him as today. You know, his life transformation. Alright, follow me. In 1760, at the age of 4, and by the way, his first name is Wolfgang. Okay? Alright, so follow me. In 1760, at the age of 4, Wolfgang Mozart took up the piano under his father's instruction. It was Wolfgang who asked to start lessons at this age. His sister, age 7, had already started on the instrument. Perhaps it was partly out of sibling rivalry that he had taken such initiative, seeing the attention and love that his sister received for her playing and wanting it for himself. After the first few months of practice, his father, Leopold, a talented player, composer, and teacher himself, could see that Wolfgang was exceptional. Most strange for his age, the boy loved to practice. At nights, his parents had to drag him away from the piano. He began to compose his own pieces at the age of 5. Soon, Leopold took this prodigy and his sister on the road to perform in all the capitals of Europe. Wolfgang dazzled the royal audiences for whom he performed. He played with assurance and could improvise all kinds of clever melodies. He was like a precious toy. The father was now earning a nice income for the family, as more and more courts wanted to see the child genius in action. As the patriarch of the family, Leopold demanded total obedience from his children, even though it was now young Wolfgang who was essentially supporting them all. Wolfgang willingly submitted. He owed everything to his father. But as he entered adolescence, something else stirred within him. Was it playing the piano that he enjoyed, or simply attracting all of this attention? He felt confused. After so many years composing music, he was finally developing his own style, and yet his father insisted that he focus on writing the more conventional pieces that pleased the royal audiences and brought the family money. The city of Salzburg, where they lived, was provincial and bourgeois. In general, he yearned for something else, to be on his own. With each passing year, Wolfgang felt increasingly stifled. Finally, in 1777, the father allowed Wolfgang, now 21, to leave for Paris, accompanied by his mother. There he must try to gain a prominent position as a conductor, so that he can continue supporting his family. But Wolfgang did not find Paris to his liking. He didn't like Paris, okay? It says the jobs that he was offered seemed beneath his talents. And then his mother fell ill while they were there, and she even died on the way back home, okay? This trip was a disaster in all possible ways. Wolfgang returned to Salzburg, chastened and prepared to submit to his father's will. He didn't know what to do. The whole trip was a disaster, and his mother died, all right? So he comes back home and he submits to his father's will. He accepted a rather uninteresting position as the court organist, but he could not completely suppress his unease. He despaired of spending his life in this mediocre position, writing music to please these petty provincials. At one point, he wrote his father, "I am a composer. I neither can nor ought to bury the talent for composition with which God in his goodness has so richly endowed me." His father, Leopold, reacted to these increasingly frequent complaints of his son with anger, reminding him of the debt he owed him for all the training he had received and the expenses the father had incurred in their endless travels. Finally, in a flash, it came to Wolfgang, it came to Mozart. It was never really the piano that Mozart loved, nor even music per se. He did not enjoy performing before others like a puppet. It was composing that he was destined for. But more than that, he had an intense love for the theater. He wanted to compose operas. That was his true voice. He would never realize this if he remained in Salzburg. It was his father who represented it more than an obstacle. Okay, we gotta realize that, our parents can sometimes be obstacles, all right? This is what Mozart realized. His father was, in fact, ruining his life, his health, and his confidence. It was not just about money. His father was actually jealous of his son's talents, and whether consciously or not, he was trying to stifle his progress. Wolfgang had to take a step, however painful, before it was too late. On a trip to Vienna in 1781, Wolfgang made the fateful decision to stay. He would never return to Salzburg, where his father was at. And as if Wolfgang had broken some great taboo, his father could never forgive him for this. His son had abandoned the family. The rift between them would never be repaired. Feeling that he had lost so much time under his father's thumb, Wolfgang composed at a furious pace. His most famous operas and compositions pouring out of him as if he were possessed. Okay? Alright, now check this out. So, it says, this is about avoiding a false path in your life. Okay? Alright, so the moral of the story is that we can't always listen to our parents when it pertains to choosing a path that is meant for us. Okay? If your parents are gonna put you into a vocation, you know what I'm saying, recommend you somewhere or something to do, but you feel within yourself that that's not right, bro. Talking to a boy or a girl out here, listen, don't do it. Alright? You know, it says that, you know, if you choose a field, okay, so look, if you go that way, this is about avoiding a false path, man. It can be a setup sometimes. And sometimes parents don't even do that on purpose. It's just they really do out of loving concern. But when you feel something within yourself that is not right, just don't do it, okay? It says, a false path in life is generally something that we are attracted to for the wrong reasons. It could be money, fame, attention, and so on, all right? And if it's attention that we need, we often experience a kind of emptiness inside that we are hoping to fill with the false love of public approval. If you choose a field that you're not truly happy in and truly happy for, you will end up suffering, man. You won't feel as fulfilled, and your work will end up suffering. And once you stop getting attention from the people you're getting attention from, it's going to be a hard-ass fall. You know what I'm saying? Okay? It's going to be a painful process. Our parents may steer us toward something lucrative, and we may act out of anxiety to fulfill what they're telling us to do. But it says that our parents may sometimes have a feeling lurking underneath them, perhaps like a bit of envy that they had less freedom than what we have today. Okay? States, actively rebel against these forces, man, that push you away from your true path. Scoff at the need for attention and approval. They will lead you astray. Feel some anger and resentment at the parental forces that want to foist upon you an alien vocation. It is a healthy part of your development to follow a path independent of your parents and establish your own identity. Yeah. Establish your own identity, man. You going your own way. Ooh, man, you strong. Man, okay. Let your sense of rebellion fill you with energy and purpose. All right. So if your parents are recommending you one thing and you don't want to go that way, you go your own route. That's a bold choice. All right. But when you take that choice, just fill yourself with energy and passion and just go ham. Just go as hard as you can. Let that shit sing, you know what I'm saying? And just go crazy and you will get somewhere. Okay. I promise. Okay. I've heard things about the Jackson 5 resenting their father for pushing them so hard. You know, people are going to be, the Jackson 5 is so talented. They made it. They're so great. You know how they're stupid to resent their father. You know what I'm saying? They made it somewhere. A lot of people don't make it. You know, that's true. They did make it somewhere. They are really talented. More talented than the average person. Yeah, they should be grateful. But also, man, it's something about having something chosen for you without you choosing it yourself. It's like you'll always have the thoughts of like, man, I wonder I wonder what would have happened if I would have listened to myself and if I would have gone a different route. The tennis player Andre Agassi, for things about he resented his parents for training him so hard. You know, these are talented people, but sometimes these people might feel like they're in a life that they didn't even choose. You know, they're a prisoner in their own life. A good example though is LeBron. LeBron and Bronny. LeBron asked Bronny, you know what I'm saying, why do you want to do this? Is this what you really want to do? Bronny responded like, yeah, I want to make a name for myself. This is what I want to do. That's what you want. That's what we like to hear. You know what I'm saying? When the kid is down, when the kid and the parent are on the same page about the same vocation, yeah, that's magical works right there. It can be bad where, I shouldn't say, all right, so I watched the podcast, Mike Tyson podcast. Lil Nas X was just on the podcast, and he stated on how his family's big on religion, and his dad has something to do with the church or something. And Lil Nas X over here, we know how this dude be, bro. Like, just out of pocket. All right, and his family's big on like religion. It's people like that, families like that, where the family is so strict and so caught up in a certain lifestyle where the kids in it, they end up seeking something else outside of that, you know what I'm saying? Because they're so pushed down on certain ideas and morals, you know what I'm saying? It's just human nature for a person to be curious about what's outside of what they're currently experiencing. So as a parent, man, as a parent and dealing with your children, if you want your kid to go a certain way, a certain route, make sure that they're down about it too. Because if not, they're going to end up resenting you in the future if they go your way and they don't end up liking it. Yeah. And also earlier in the video, I said that I mentioned how certain people are more talented than other people. That's not true. We're all talented in all of our own special ways. It's really just about just diving deep into that talent and doing the best you can with it and sharing it with the world. All right. Everyone is talented on this earth today. Everyone is talented who's watching this video. You know, learn how to share it with everyone else and do it the best way that you can. Deuces.